Hello students, you're welcome to class. Today we shall be looking at the topic literary appreciation, and under that we shall be looking at the analysis of the poem Unsteady Commissioners by Sanyaolu. Now before we continue, I want us to look at this word unsteady. The word unsteady. What does it mean for something to be unsteady? It means for something to be unstable. And who are commissioners? Commissioners, they are part of those that work with politicians. So, what this poet is trying to talk about, he's trying to talk about people who are unstable in their purpose or in their activities. So, by the end of this class, you should be able to summarize the poem, call out the themes from the poem, analyze the relationship of the themes with events in our society, and bring out and explain the devices explored in the poem. Alright, let's start. As I said, this poem is an advice to political office holders. And what is this poet trying to say to a political office holder? The poet wants them to use the privilege of their office very well, because the position they are occupying is temporary. They will not be there forever. And by the time they leave, of course, later they may need those that elected them in that position. And if they were not able to do well when they were there initially, they may not get the support of those that voted them into power. Basically, that's what the poet is trying to talk about. Now, what are some of the things explored in this poem? One of the things explored in this poem is the temporariness of power. Power is not temporary. If you're a president today, you just have 4 years or maximum 8 years, and then you will leave. So power is not temporary. By the time you are in power, be accountable, because very soon you will need those that elected you into power. Now, another one is political office is tempting. Political office can be very tempting. A politician can promise the masses of what he will do when he gets to power. But if he is not resolved enough, by the time he gets to power, he may not be able to carry out those things he promised them, because political office can be very tempting. Other things can distract him. Or another thing is the masses are powerful. The masses are powerful. Remember, the masses that voted you into power also have the power to vote you out of power. So you should always notice this, that the masses are powerful. Another thing in the poem is falsehood. Falsehood among many politicians. Many politicians, they come into power promising the people of many things they will do. But by the time they get into power, they won't do some of these things they promised the people. Now, the last thing we have here is the need for political leaders to be accountable. A leader should be accountable to those that voted them into power. So, there is need for political leaders to be accountable, because by the time his tenure expires or ends, he may need the people that voted him into power again, probably for another political position. If he was not able to do well when he was in power, the people may not vote him into power again. So there is need for political leaders to be accountable. Now let us look at some of the devices and figure of speech in this poem. Now we have imagery. Imageries are the pictures created in the mind of the reader. It can be sight, it can be sound, it can be text. Now look at this. Those behind, those below, people on the grass. Those behind, those below, people on the grass. What picture does it give? Does this give you? It gives you a picture of the masses. Also, we have the tone and the mood. The tone of the poet is that of concern. The poet is concerned about the way political leaders carry out their activities or lead the people. Alright, let's look at some figures of speech. We have apostrophe. Apostrophe is when an expression seems to be addressing people who as if they are present, meanwhile they are not present. Now look at this. The poet seems to be addressing an audience, that is the political elite. Look at this. When you are lucky to be there. He was addressing the elite as if they were there. Now look at this one. Repetition. We have the expression, when you are lucky to be there, repeated in 4 stanzas. And finally, okay, before the last one, we have synecdoche. Now, what is synecdoche? When a part of a thing is used to represent the whole. Look at this. Many eyes are watching. Who are these eyes? It is talking about the masses watching you, how you are carrying out your political position. And finally, we have anticlimax. Anticlimax is when we move from high to low. When we move from something tense to something that is less tense. Now, anticlimax, we have fall from grace. That is grace to grass. You can see grace is high, grass is low. So this is an example of anticlimax. All right, this is where we are going to stop today. Make sure you copy the notes, read the materials, and do your class tasks. And when you are done with that, submit. Thank you.